we're inviting Lev Parnas in. But did the Iranians launch drones as well on the against the government of Qatar? We don't know that yet. So give me 1 second. We're going to bring Lev Parnas in. This, as somebody said, the situation is getting worse, right? Well, the situation is going to get a lot worse unless the Iranians decide that they are going to be very nice about this. So now we're going to bring in Lev Parnas, who's going to come in as our co-host. We're going to have this discussion, and we'll see what he says. One of the questions was, why is there no radiation detected from these bases? That's principally because they didn't crack the shell of the radioactive chambers, but they could have damaged enough of the centrifuges so that it was all contained inside that. Hey, Lev.
Hey, Malcolm. The gets crazier by the day. I mean, it just keeps on going, huh?
Oh, this is just the start of it. If they fired 6 missiles, they have hundreds and hundreds of missiles to fire. And they also saw that Al Udeid Air Base was cleared out. But there are other bases that they can attack. They could just attack the naval support activity in Bahrain, and just the ships are out of port. They can just ruin it. Here's what we don't know. How many drones are en route to Qatar? Even though they had Iron Dome, the U.S. Air Force operates the Israeli interceptor Iron Dome, which is a short-range interceptor, and Patriot missile batteries, which are long-range interceptors, and have warships that could use their version of the SM-3 long-range space-based interceptor. That doesn't mean that there aren't 500 or 600 drones on the way to devastate that base. And the way to do it is, this is actually a sort of a smart move on the Iranians' part, is that I'm watching a video now of the interceptors going up over Doha skyline. If you've been to Doha, Qatar, it's a beautiful city. But for the most part, yeah, I'm watching 1, 2, 3, 4.
What are you watching it?
I'm watching it on, yeah, go ahead.
I'm curious to see how this plays out, because I literally just got off the phone also with a really reliable source right as literally 15 minutes before this was happening, and talking about, because today the Iranian foreign minister met with Putin directly, gave him a letter from. They had, and I got the meeting. I got a video of the meeting. I'm going to post, and I'm right now translating it into English. So again, it's going to be interesting to play out. But what I'm hearing, Malcolm, and this is really interesting, is that this attack was really going to be symbolic. That this is it. That there is not going to be any drones. That Russia basically gave the green light to do it in this manner, because they were able to get out most of the uranium and all of that Iran did not take a hit like Trump is making. Again, this is not verified. This is what I'm hearing right now as it's happening. We're going to see it, because it's interesting to see what they're talking. But what I'm hearing is that this is going to be symbolic, and as long as there's not going to be any injuries, no death on the ground, that basically Trump is going to wave it off, try to take the win and move on. And that doesn't mean it's not the war is not going to stop between Israel and everything that's going on. It's a very dangerous game. But this is literally what I'm hearing in the past 20 minutes, Malcolm.
I'll tell you, the Iranians clearly called the Qataris, because earlier today I had put out a tweet, or I had retweeted a notice that Doha airport was closing. They closed all of their airspace in the country. That was 3 hours warning. And that meant that they knew it was coming. The Iranians, said, hey, listen, tonight you're getting your ass kicked. Don't be hanging out near the air base. You'll know what's coming. The Americans knew it was coming. They removed all of their aircraft from Al Udeid 2 days ago. And it's a logical place. The key is, if the Iranians were going to strike something, they're going to strike the central command headquarters buildings. They're not going to want to strike the flight line. They're going to want to hit the places that the U.S. actually operates from. And if they could destroy central command headquarters, well, the Qataris could make a reasonable argument that base shouldn't exist there anymore. right?
Well, then it's on. Then it's a different ballgame. Then it's all this what we're talking about is out. I
Well,
mean, if they
we'll see if it's one or done. I mean, if this is a very low level way for the Iranians to back out and make it look like they took a shot at Trump and then got defeated, because all the interceptors right now are being intercepted. They're being knocked down. I'm
right.
not sure that that's going to satisfy the Iranians, but we don't know. The United Arab Emirates also closed down its airspace.
Well,
All air flights are
it's
being sent
interesting,
back.
Malcolm.
Mhm.
I'm trying to get. I'm going to get the Iranian. It came out with a response, and they came out with a statement.
Yeah.
And I don't have the statement in front of me, but I was on the Spaces, one of the Mario Spaces, arguing with that actual trader Jason Henkel and I mean
Uh,
Army. And Dan Bazarian and those guys. I was just right before you sent me the invite. I
oh, you
left
were on
them.
a space?
I was on that
Uh,
space. They had like 30,000 people there. I was arguing because they're putting their bullshit propaganda.
right.
But one of the things is they read a breaking from from the Iranians' response, and I was listening to it carefully, and the way it was stated, the words that they used was that we responded the same way the United States responded. We used the same amount of missiles, the same amount of like. It was very. I'm going to try to get that response, unless you could get that before me. But
Okay. Yeah, I'm
because I
looking it up.
want you to, because you'll read into it, you'll understand better. But the way I read it, and from what the information from what I'm getting behind the scenes, is that this is what basically Putin allowed them this. And again, because Iran did not take the hit that Trump is making everybody believe they did.
Right.
Because I'm going to look for it in a second. Let me see if I can find that.
Mm. Oh, well, this is interesting. No, that's not today. That's days ago. Iranian message. Yeah, you guys all have to bear with us. This is all breaking news. Like you said, we don't have 100 people feeding in all of these things. So if you guys see something you want to see, is the government doing this? Yes, well, yes, the government is doing this. Okay, the Iranian media published a 3D rendering of Al Udeid base. That was on Sputnik. Well, there's a sign, right? It's telling the Russians, the largest U.S. command and operations center in the region from which aggression as a regional countries has came. Ba. Iranian message.
Oh, let's see here.
Yeah, I'm trying to get it. Our message to the White House and the
Here
allies is
goes. Here
clear.
goes. Here goes. Here's a part of it. So the president, afternoon bombing state, the Iranian the president is slated to meet with national security this afternoon following his bombing in Tehran. The timing, the nature, the scale of the right proportionate response will be decided by the. No, that's not it. I'm sorry. That's not.
Okay, I have this. I have the one from the statement from the Secretariat of Iran's Supreme National Security Council regarding Iran's missile response to the U.S. aggression.
Okay.
In response to the aggressive and brazen U.S. attack on Iran's nuclear sites and facilities, the powerful armed forces of the Islamic Republic of Iran struck the American air base in Udeid, Qatar, a few hours ago. The number of missiles used in this successful operation matched the number of bombs the United States employed in its attack on Iran. So that's 6. Uh, the base targeted by Iran's capable forces was located at a significant distance from urban areas and residential zones in Qatar. This operation posed no threat whatsoever to our friendly and brotherly country, Qatar, or its honorable people. The Islamic Republic of Iran remains committed to preserving and continuing the warm and historic relations with Qatar. That's the official statement.
So you see what I'm
So if
saying?
that's it, then that's going to be it.
I'm saying to you that's not it. I'm saying to you that it's getting a lot deeper from what I'm hearing, that Putin, the game that Putin has started here and is manipulating, that there's a lot more to come. And I'm saying it's a lot more dangerous, but the pretense of the way that it's all playing out to give Trump that supposed win. And I said, remember in the very beginning that Trump wants to win with no casualties, that he was able to do it. Putin right now has got Iran under. The only thing that doesn't make sense to me right now, that I don't see what's happening, because
Right.
what I've been hearing is the oil prices are not going up. And actually, oil prices have gone down a little bit. Actually, with all this, I'm not, so that's the
Well,
only piece of
there
the
hasn't
puzzle,
been a
because
direct there hasn't been a direct threat to the oil industry.
I think that might be
And
the next. That I think might be the
no,
next.
I think that if Trump does something stupid, which arguably he could do something very stupid, he could say, "We're going to strike you again. And now we're going to destroy a naval base. We're going to do something." The Iranians are like, "Okay, we fired 6 missiles at you. Now we're going to fire 600." Right?
Exactly.
Then you could see this. This is almost the way that Netanyahu and Khamenei went at it last year, which was, okay, this strike is done. And of course, Israel was like, no, it's not. We're going to kick your ass. Right? And so every time someone escalates this, the strike's not finished. It just has been put off. And I think that if Iran is saying this, it does go to the point that I made yesterday. These guys are really, really cool about us attacking them. And that made me think they didn't lose anything.
Exactly.
That
They didn't.
stuff has been gone for days.
Me and
And they're
you're the
like,
only ones talking about this. Everybody else,
there's no,
nobody else wants to talk about it. They're like, the stuff is gone. That's why Iran is responding. You're 100% right, Malcolm. They moved it. That's why the biggest question nobody asked Donald Trump. Nobody keeps asking. You said 2 weeks. Why that day? Why not 2 days later? Why not day? Why that day? And
oh,
where's Steve
he's going
Witkoff?
to say it was part of our operational
Correct.
deception plan. And if that's the case, no one can believe your pathological lying ass anyway. Now we really just not going to take anything you say at face value at all.
Oh, and the media now is reporting that exactly he specifically lied, just like we said that he's been lying all the time. But now the media is saying it was part of his game to lie and he had Pete Hegseth and everybody else come out. But this is the interesting other part, which
But we knew it was coming. So
but
what was the purpose of that? Who did he think he was deceiving? The Iranians?
no, the American people. The American people. It's all about the American people, because he's doing it. And you know what the crazy part is, Malcolm? I wrote today in my Substack and yesterday also, the one thing, where is Steve Witkoff? How come we don't have a response? He is the guy that is the mediator. Remember, the last we heard before the 2 week notice was that talks that Witkoff was supposed to meet with the head of the Iranian committee, that they were close to making a decision. Witkoff is the same guy that's met with Putin more times in the past 100 days than his own family or kids probably have seen him. So Witkoff and all of a sudden, Witkoff is nowhere to be found. We got Pete Hegseth and
Witkoff is
Marco
pulling
Rubio.
Witkoff is pulling you room service right now at Emirates Palace in Abu Dhabi. He's sitting there, he's having 5-star lobsters being delivered to him 5-6 times a day. And he's just sitting there watching CNN, sitting on his mobile phone, waiting for his calls, chatting with Trump. He's out for now because he's the negotiator. There's nothing to negotiate here. I wouldn't be surprised if his fat ass shows up in Belarus, right? As a follow on to Kellogg, right? I mean, now it's time to suck up to Putin. But I find it very interesting that, one, I find it even more interesting that the Iranians chose Al Udeid, because the Qataris have oil, but the Qataris chose this job to be seen as the mediators between all good and bad forces in the Middle East. They've always negotiated with the Iranians from there. They've always had Al Qaeda, the Afghans, the Taliban, everyone, Hamas had their headquarters in Doha, while U.S. Central Command was just outside of town, right? And that was their way to be the fair arbiter of how of the Middle East. And they really did a good job of that. They've taken that job. The Saudis hate the Iranians so much that they really needed to take that job. Oh, there's my dog. She's barking. She says
Oh,
another missile attack
I
is
know.
coming. All right.
Malcolm, I hear that Michael is right. Guys, slam those hearts because I spoke to my son yesterday. He told me that there's an algorithm that when you slam the hearts, that it brings it out, and more people that are not subscribing, that are not following, but it shows up on their timelines to be
Ah,
able to. So definitely slam the hearts and make sure. And the other thing, Malcolm, that the media is starting to pick up what me and you are talking about. I've
right.
started seeing them write about it. They're actually quoting us now in it. They're talking about, folks, what we're talking about here, none of them are talking about it. They're all chasing the same stories. If you take a look at, they're all talking about the same thing. What we're telling you is something a lot more behind the scenes from Malcolm. I mean, Malcolm has lived there. Forget about the 40 years of experience and the service to our country. He's lived in that area, knows it like the back of his hand. And the things that I'm hearing behind the scenes from Putin's side right now and from Russia, this is a lot more dangerous. Even though, on the outskirts, Malcolm, this is what I said in my Substack.
Right.
It's a great thing because if we're right and the sources are right, then we're not going to see no casualties in American armed forces, which is a
Oh,
great
not
thing.
right now. If it was 6 missiles,
There you
and
go.
they know Alu Dade, one battery of Patriot missiles has enough to stop 6 missiles. They could not stop 20 missiles. They
Correct.
could not. 100 missiles would have devastated that base. And I don't mean these aren't the missiles that they would be shooting at Israel. These are the short range ballistic missiles that have only a couple of 1,000 kilometer distance, that are liquid fuel that would only have to come across the Arabian Gulf. Right? It's like throwing a rock into a pond. So the Iranians, this is very measured. If it is, I'm certain they are preparing to give Trump an out. Trump goes, "Oh, we defended our
Not
troops,"
them.
and
It's Putin. Putin's giving him the out.
Putin's giving him an out.
Because what I'm hearing, the Iranians came very hard. He brought the foreign minister brought a personal letter from the Ayatollah to
Mhm.
Putin. In that letter, what I'm hearing is that it was a very desperate plea, not only for Russia to step up militarily wise, politically wise, and to support Iran. And Putin, the mastermind, and you know better than anybody,
Mhm.
because that's who he is. He
Yeah.
played it and manipulated and basically allow them to explain that this is their win. They get to retain, to live to fight another day. Russia supporting them still. They show save face but with the attack, and they get to keep building their uranium and their military weapon. Nuclear weapons with the help of Russia behind the scenes because they moved it. So this is what
Right.
I'm hearing of what's going. But it's extremely dangerous because, like you said, one wrong spark, one wrong thing, and you got to keep in mind the Iranians are very adamant, want to respond to the United States in a lot bigger,
Mhm.
harder way. They are still in a war with Israel because think about it this way. This is another thing I tell about, and Malcolm, maybe you could comment on it. Israel went in to attack Iran because they said to wipe out their nuclear weapons.
Mhm.
So Trump then came out and said that he wiped out their nuclear weapons with the
Right.
So what is Israel still
Yep.
bombing there, and what facilities? Why is there still a campaign going on if we are
Well,
supposedly wiped out all the nuclear weapons?
Israel's coming to the tail end of their operations, according to their activities. That they're going to be winding down their operations, which is going to make things interesting because it means Iran now will have the capacity to rearm, move equipment, weapons, and things like that aside. The Israelis think that they can always come back and strike ballistic missile launchers and things like that, and that this will be the end of the war of the cities, Israel-Iran version, right? However, the wild card's going to be Trump again. If Trump claims this is a victory, um, then then he had better be sure that all those materials are gone, right? You know what the Iranians are going to do? And now, this is where the Iranians really, really know their neighborhood.
Yep.
If they've really missed, there's going to be they're going to break open that entryway, and they're going to be bringing journalists down in there, and they're going to go, "Yeah, you got the centrifuges, but does anybody see any radioactive material in here?" Even if it's a deception, it'll be a brilliant deception that will bring Trump into complete disrepute to say, "Oh, yeah, you hit a mountain And the places they aimed were wise. They went after the air shafts, which is where you always bomb, right? But for the most part, if you missed, right? You know that old saying, right? You come after the king, you better not miss.
That's right.
Your miss means that Iran will probably right now,
And that's
if
the scary part.
if they missed, I'm going to say, you
That's the
all
scary
heard it
part.
right here. We're 2,800 of you, right? This is one of our biggest forums. If they fucking missed, the next thing you're going to find is in a month or so, Iran will detonate nuclear bombs.
And that's the scary part, Malcolm. And that's why I say,
And it'll be a test detonation in Western, in the deserts out towards the Baluch Afghan border, right? And it won't be, oh, let's set up, the Manhattan Project, with scaffolding that you can easily identify from space. They'll bring their Kia Bongo, pickup truck out there, and they will just go through the initiation, the launch sequence. They'll move people out of there in a matter of a couple of 24, 48 hours. And there's going to be shitloads of cameras there, and an atomic bomb will go off. And they're going to go, you missed.
And that's one of the main things that Putin told them today in the meeting that I'm being told is basically
Okay.
he said, look, that if you allow Trump to come in here, because they all think Trump's crazy, they all know Trump is a wild card, and they're like, if you allow Trump to, then they will go after all of these spots. Right now, you won basically. Right now, the only thing
You
is
mean
you
the
lost
Iranians
face.
have won?
The Iranian, right? The Iranians
Right.
basically won. They lost face. They lost face by allowing this, but they won by getting it out of there, by continuing, fighting another day. And now, like you said, if they got that out of there, I mean, what's to come 3 months from now, a month from now, 6 months from now? Because it's one thing when we knew, but if now Trump tries to, because part of what Trump does every day is he tries to rewrite history. Just like
Right.
with the 2020 election, just like here. If he comes in here right now and says that that's it, Iran has no more nuclear weapons, and he's
Right.
wrong, and they got out.
Right.
It's even a lot more dangerous, folks, than the fact that we've been talking about Iran possibly having, because now they
Yeah.
will be able, like Malcolm says, build them and do them without any control.
I will say this twice. Okay. I have been alive. I have been alive and seen now 3 nuclear weapons programs attacked, right? I wasn't in the military in 1979. I was joining the Navy at that time when the Israelis attacked Iraq's Osirak nuclear power plant, right? I thought, okay, great. F-16s go over there, crack the dome, right? Get rid of his nuclear ambitions. Saddam Hussein himself said that they had really no program for nuclear weapons when the Israelis did that. And when they saw how serious the Israelis were, they were like, oh, they really fear the atomic bomb. So fast forward to $100 billion, Iraq went on a crash atomic bomb acquisition program, trying to buy uranium, getting all these other parts. Also, that modifying their ballistic missiles, but more importantly, creating that rail gun. Do you remember that? It was made up of tubes, oil pipeline tubes, that Gerard Bull, who the Israelis killed, right? um, they had created this gun that was on an angle for like Tel Aviv. And all it could do is, if it was operational, would loft a crude atomic bomb into space. And it doesn't matter if you intercept it on the way down, an atomic bomb is going off. So Saddam Hussein didn't do that until the Israelis attacked them. And he was like, oh, okay, we're going to do a real atomic bomb now. Then, in the United States, I was there when we attacked all of the nuclear facilities during Desert Storm and laid them to waste. And now we're at a point where the Iranians are going to say the same thing. Okay, you took your shot. You got hundreds of our missiles. We're going to do a national crash program to do 2 things. One, Everyone in Iran is now going to work on ballistic missile launchers and ballistic missiles. Everyone, every expense is not going to be spared. Hello, Pamela. You're in the middle of my live. You might want to go in the kitchen with the dogs.
Hey, folks, this is what's up. We're live with you.
That's what live means. Pamela, I guess you haven't heard Iran attack the United States. Qatar. So you got to tell your family, right? Like, what the heck? Everyone likes the dogs. Oh, it's not a Newfoundland. It's a black lab and 2 beagles. And the black lab's name is Moolah.
I know why I liked
lake.
you so much, Malcolm, because I also am a dog lover. I got 2 also. So, I mean,
and you know what? For all of you who are watching live, this is the horrible conditions that I have to put up with. I'm sitting in front of a lake, which I jumped into after I went running this morning. But yeah, it's terrible up here in Maple Leaf Land. So, okay. That being said, this vacation is now being ruined. But as I said, the Iranians now are probably going to say no expense spared. And here's what I find funny when we talk to people like Yehuda Alamazar and others who are pro-Israel cheerleaders who go, the Mossad knows everything. No, they don't. They knew where the top scientists were. But did you get the coffee boy? Did you get the guy who brings in all the rivets? Did you get all the young junior grad school scientists and new postdoc guys who were not the leaders of the program? Somewhere down there is a young guy in his 30s or even late 20s who was probably the brains of the outfit, who was not getting recognized.
100%.
And when they killed the top leaders, this is what he said. You, Ali, you're in charge. And he goes, great, because I can make this bomb work in a week. Your boss was holding us back down here. It's always a young, ambitious guy who will say, listen, we have all the nuclear detonators ready, right? Let's bring this thing out to Baluchistan. Let's blow this pop stand. I need 6 Kia Bongo flatbeds, made up like ice cream trucks, sent out in 6 different directions with 50 other decoys. And they're like, yes, 6 flatbeds, writing it all down because it's time for the young guys to shine. And I hear all this stuff. The Israelis have penetrated the IRGC. There is no money for anyone that penetrated the IRGC who lives. And I will be honest with you, Israel, because this is the way it works in the intelligence community, one of those dead people that they killed was probably their internal access spy.
Yeah.
Is this he gets the Joe Pesci treatment. He thinks he's coming in to get made, and there's plastic on the floor.
Yep.
And he thinks, oh, is my helicopter to Tel Aviv, or has it arrived? They're gonna fly me off to Doha or Abu Dhabi. By the way, full disclosure, my dentist in Abu Dhabi, his father was Baghdad Bob.
Wow.
And Baghdad Bob had worked for the United States for years. And they paid this guy through the Emirates in like gold bars. And when the country fell, he showed up in Abu Dhabi under the control of the United Arab Emirates of almost, with $500 million. So there's money into betraying your country. I just suspect the Israelis aren't paying these guys because the Iranians are going to find them. They're going to find the people. They're going to find all the little breadcrumbs the Israelis left to lead them to the wrong people. But they're going to find the right people, and they're going to kill them. But it would probably behoove the Israelis to make it seem better if they actually killed their source. He died a martyr in the airstrikes, right?
You know better than anybody the spy game. I mean, they're double agents, triple agents. I mean, when you're in that world, it's like nobody knows it better than you, Malcolm. So
I'm just saying, we're sitting here talking now, because for those of you who are coming on, we're almost 4,000. I think this is the biggest forum we've ever had. But now that Iran has attacked Qatar, and like you see in the statement, they were not attacking the nation of Qatar or the people of Qatar. They were attacking the Zionist imperialist American airbase, Al Udeid. And they used only 6 missiles, which they knew would be intercepted, right?
And they
So,
warned Qatar.
and they warned Qatar 3 hours in advance. When I saw airspace closed, I was like, is that a thing? Have you ever been to Doha Airport? There's like 500 airplanes taking off and landing at any given time. So somebody says my lab is actually very big. Yes, Mula is very big. So not as big as another dog I've seen around here. But for this message to be sent, the only factor here now is the wild card. Will Trump accept it? That's on you. What do you think?
What I'm hearing, and like I said, this is happening as we're breaking live. So, I mean, I could get a phone call as we speak. You know how this works, Malcolm. I mean, I've been literally 20 minutes, 30 minutes before we went live before. I mean, this is what I've been talking. I've been hearing that basically earlier today, the foreign minister of Iran has met with Vladimir Putin. I have video of it, and it's being translated right now. I'm going to put it in there. Yeah, a video of the meeting of the conversation. We're gonna put that out shortly. And right after that, it was a coordinated plan. Iran was very adamant, wanted to strike back, wanted to strike back hard, wanted to save face, but Putin basically did what he does best, manipulate the situation to what Russia needs. Because I mean, the other thing that the media is not talking about, that Vladimir Zelensky just confirmed what we've been talking about, Malcolm, already for months, if not years, that now their intelligence picked up Putin coming out talking about openly going into Poland and the Baltic states, and as military start working that way, while the media and everything, the distractions are happening. So Putin needs Iran. He can't have them get into a war with her. So he's playing this situation, while Trump is using this for a win, because there's several reasons what I'm hearing why Trump is all adamant about this and loves it. First of all, he always wanted to put Iran out, get that on his rap sheet. As he go out there, he took out the
on his rap sheet.
You know what I'm saying? It's part of his rap sheet. He wants it. He took out the nuclear weapon. He wants to get the credit for that.
Right.
Second of all, there's a much bigger game at play that's happening over here. For that win, Putin got, as we could see, there's no way Trump, none of our military, nobody's talking about what's happening in Ukraine. Ukraine today got bombarded again, one of the biggest attacks on there. People are dying. Putin is moving forward and trying to do it, and everything has changed. Why? Because now everything is open to the Middle East and what's happening over there. So simultaneously, what Trump now is getting out of it, this is the dangerous part, is they're going to use this, and they've already started to, Malcolm. You see all the social media, and you see Fox News, you see some of the Trump loyalists in his administration coming out and start touting that during the Biden administration, there was over 700 terrorist Iranian cells that have been built that have come in through their immigration policy into the United States, and are fear-mongering the United States people that we are going to be under attack by Iranian cells that are now here because of the Biden administration. Now, what I'm hearing this is all being set up is for the ICE, for their immigration policy, for their ICE to be able to use that now to target now not only Central America, South America individuals, but also now Muslims and all nations to be part of. And this is where it gets crazy. This is all part of Stephen Miller and Russell Vaught's 2020 plan. It all comes back down to that, Malcolm, because it's a way to cleanse the country and to be able to do. And this is what I'm hearing literally like over the past several hours. This is the stuff that's been coming in from all over the place. So I mean, it's fluid. It's happening right now. It's crazy to hear that how coordinated that this is, if this is the case and how they play it out, but how dangerous it is, not only like you said right now, but for the future. Because if under false pretenses right now, Trump sells the story that we took out the Iranian nuclear weapons and they were able to actually save and move them, and then strike when we least expected, that I think is more dangerous than anything we're talking about right here, right now.
Yeah. Well, I hope so. Again, the wild card in this story is Donald Trump. He could just say, okay, we accept that. We 6 missiles were fired at us. We shot them down. I'm reading a Turkish report right here that quotes Reuters. The United States was warned 2 hours in advance by Iran, and that
Hey,
Qatar was also
there you
notified,
go.
and they were notified the specific target would be Al Udeid. So
There
the
you go.
Iranians are ratcheting this back. Now Trump is going to have all those his neo MAGA jerks who are going to be calling for blood. They're going to say, "Well, they attacked us. We should do something in retaliation." What do you think about that? What's the possibility of that?
I mean, listen, with Trump, anything is possible. How come, you don't know what side of the what he ate for breakfast or what shadow sheep. But
Yeah,
again, from what I'm hearing, that he's gonna come out right now and basically take the win, say that Iran didn't do anything, that this nobody got hurt, and that if they don't escalate it, then it's basically put a kibosh on that today and take the win and move forward. I mean, that again, it's fluent. It's happening right now. But the one thing I'm going to tell all, we have over 4,000 viewers here. And
right.
guys, God bless every single one of you. Make sure you guys all subscribe. Make sure all of you go out there. If each and every one of you brings another one or two people, just think about how big our platform and how more the information spreads. The media is already picking up on it. But the one thing I challenge each and every one of you, after you're done with our live stream, go out there right now and take a look at what everybody else is reporting. Take a look at World of Pundits and the Substacks and everybody. I guarantee you it's the same message that the media is reporting about how we're going to World War III, that Iran is killing our people, that attack, that what you heard here today from me and Malcolm, you heard stuff that nobody's reporting on. You're talking about, we're giving you stuff that on the inside that's moving, fluent, and if it happens, we'll be out here again. That doesn't say that's not dangerous, and it doesn't say that it's not crazy. But that's why it's so important for you guys to be our megaphones, to be our extension of our voices, to go out there and spread the message, what you hear on our platform over here, and make sure, like again, subscribe, support, because with your support is what keeps us going and fighting these guys.
Yep. I got to tell you, well, you're absolutely right about that. I'm already seeing what's coming here on Twitter. I'm on X right now, and there's a lot of cheerleading, and there's a lot of hit 'em back going on back there. And the news media, I mean, here's the only thing you can now. Somebody says the Supreme Security Council claims it destroyed the base. No, they didn't destroy the base. This was a hit tit for tat.
That's what's going to happen now. You're going to have a lot of misinformation, go back and forth, a lot of attack him, go back him. But here you're hearing the facts, the truth, and what we're telling you. You know what's happening now.
Yep. And that's what I'm saying. I'm saying breaking, breaking news. Iran has limited its attack.
That's right. That's right.
Okay. You can all help me. What else should I write? It has limited its attack.
What's the right and is now. I mean, this is Iran basically did what they did right now is what they did with the first, if you remember the Israeli attack, the symbolic response where they said the
Mhm.
300 missiles, they warned
Right.
Israel.
And the Israelis sent back one.
Right. Remember that was that.
Right. Right.
That's what this was right now. This is that type. So it was a symbolic, but you're gonna have the pundits on both sides right now go after. It's gonna be interesting for you guys to watch how this plays out now, knowing the truth of what really is happening behind the scenes.
Yeah. And you know what? I'm going to say it again. There's now 4,200 of you here. This is a very, very cool response of Iran. And it's not the kind of response you would make from a country who just had all of its nuclear materials destroyed. This is not surrender. They don't surrender, right? They go out, they make kebabs, they have a cup of tea, they have some baklava, they talk amongst themselves, and they come up with another clever. What Trump thought was, unconditional surrender, disarmed, sight utterly obliterated. I suspect in the next 48 hours, they'll have journalists inside the nuclear at Natanz and at Fordow. Isfahan is destroyed. That was above ground. But they're going to have them in there, and they're going to have lights and power on. And they're going to go, nice try there, buddy, but you didn't get the program.
And no, it's only getting interesting from here.
Yeah, because doing that, you antagonized Trump in an amazing way. That will really piss him off. By them coming up and showing some form of evidence, even if it's a relatively lame propaganda effort, but by bringing everyone in there and saying, hey, listen, some of the centrifuges got destroyed or knocked off kilter, but this site's operational and it's not destroyed. Oh, and there's nothing here anyway. You think we sat here for 40 years and let you attack us after you told us you were going to attack us? We're not that dumb.
So here's the other wild card, Malcolm, that I forgot to say that.
Yes, it's a symbolic retaliation.
The other wild card is Netanyahu, Bibi. So because this is all being coordinated behind the scenes with Witkoff, Trump, Putin, Kirillov, all of these people we've been talking about. But Bibi Netanyahu is not part of that whole, he's uncontrollable. Trump tries to control. So that's where another wild card comes in to see how the responses is going to be between Israel and Iran. And if we don't get dragged further into it or what happens, because again, the fighting is continuing. I mean, this is just a response to us, to what's it called?
On what?
To our attack on their nuclear weapons.
What, the name of their operation?
What was the name of the operation?
Oh, I don't have the name of the operation, but anyway, look, this isn't even a retaliation. This was a symbolic retaliation. Thank you, Nickel. It was very symbolic, and that's what I'm writing right here. What I'm saying is I'm going to read this to you guys before I send it out on Twitter, Substack, Facebook, and all that, that this cool attitude by Iran belies a calm that makes me think their nuclear program is safe.
And very important, comes right after the private conversations at the Kremlin.
Right after the Kremlin. So, who wins in the Putin-Trump-Iran fight? Is Putin now the voice of reason between the two countries? This is weird.
He's not the reason. He's the manipulator. He's
of course.
He's playing the putty because in the meantime he's distracting, deflecting, attacking Ukraine. Just think about it. He's still getting what he wants, and he has Trump right now fighting for him to get it back into the G8. All of this, and now imagine if all of a sudden somehow Trump gives Putin the credit for somehow stopping this, keeping Iran back or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
All of a sudden now, Ukraine doesn't look that good and Russia looks that great. You know what I'm saying to you?
So you said there's a video of Russia?
Yeah, I'm having.
Well, that's going to undermine Trump like nobody's business.
Yeah, it's being right now. I'm getting it. It's in Russian. It's in Russian and Iranian with Iranian translator. You got Putin, and that's another thing, guys. What you're going to see is a real meeting, not like Witkoff had. You're going to see the Iranian foreign minister with his entourage of interpreters. You're going to see Putin sitting there with his interpreters, not like Steve Witkoff coming in by himself and meetings. Next time, I'll never forget that, Malcolm.
I can't. Why do they have a real estate broker as the lead negotiator in everything? He has no staff. Why should he even bother? His phone is completely compromised.
because
the Russians.
because as I've been writing, Malcolm, he was targeted going back to 2017, when Kushner and Kirillov started joining forces in the Saudi Arabia because of they both managed the wealth funds. Woodcock was back then Trump's lawyer behind, not Trump's lawyer, but Trump's uh, butt buddy, and was involved in much of a lot of the investments and that was going on. You just didn't hear his name come around. He was part of that crew. So they know Witkoff. They've dealt with Witkoff. They know, and they know his relationship with Trump. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? Witkoff is basically the left Parnas of 2000 from his first administration. This is
only a lot richer.
A lot richer, yes.
This guy, you know what? This guy thinks he's going to have 100 fucking multi-billion-dollar real estate deals all over the world.
Oh my God! And his son is running around doing all the what's it called, the crypto stuff with Don Jr. and Eric.
Oh,
It's Zach Witkoff. Zach Witkoff, his son, involved directly involved in all the crypto stuff. It's a family affair, Malcolm.
oh, fuck! You know, I swear to God. All right. So this is what I'm saying. I'm saying that the Iranians' cool attitude makes me think they got everything out, and they probably will demonstrate it here in the next few weeks. And Trump will go around pretending he's the freaking, he won the war. But I think these assessments are going to come out. The IAEA may even be allowed in and go, yeah, we got a lot of little radioactivity in here, but 60% enrichment. We just don't see any. Especially at Natanz, they had access to the Natanz nuclear power center. That's where all those 20,000 centrifuges were operating. But it's what's its name? Fordo. Its 3,000 centrifuges were designed to shake that uranium and take it from 60% to 90% enriched, which is atomic bomb. You can detonate a bomb at 60% enrichment. It's just going to be the size of a Volkswagen. 90%, it's the size of a basketball.
Wow. I mean, look, Malcolm, there's a lot more that's playing out right now, and I could tell you this much, that is the one thing that we need to, like we said, every single one of you, put the pressure, ask the hard questions.
Yep.
Why is the media not asking where Steve Witkoff? What's going on? Where is he? What's happening? Why did Trump attack when he attacked? Why wasn't a day earlier, a day later? What was the emergency to attack? Why was it pre-coordinated that the Russians and the Iranians, obviously already even the New York Times is talking about moved. The New York Times basically just came out saying that they moved over 400 tons or something of uranium out of the major one. Did you see that article?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're having it being reported from all over the place, and at the end of the day, Donald Trump's going to come out today. After right now, he's in. They're waiting for him to come out. He's going to say that, make fun of the Iranians, say that we won, we destroyed everything. But the truth to the matter is, he's using it for his own immigration policies here in the United States.
Oh, I believe that.
And
Stephen Miller's fucking evil, and that now it's going to be the great Muslim chase here in the United States.
Oh.
Hey, did you see this tweet that Trump put out earlier about Medvedev and the N-word?
Yeah. How dare you? I had to read it twice because when he said the N-word, I said, wait a second. Did Medvedev say something I didn't?
Let me read it to everybody. Trump puts this thing out around 10:30 this morning. He says, did I hear the former President Medvedev from Russia casually throwing around the N-word? And then in parentheses, nuclear. And saying that he and other countries would supply nuclear warheads to Iran. Did he really say that, or is it just a figment of my imagination? If he did say that, and if confirmed, please let me know immediately. The N-word should not be treated so casually. Oh, God almighty. I guess that's why Putin's the boss. All caps. By the way, if anyone thinks our hardware was great over the weekend, far and away the strongest and best equipment we have, 20 years advanced over the pack, is our nuclear submarines. Okay. They are most powerful and lethal weapons ever built and just launched the 30 Tomahawks. All 30 of their mark hit their mark perfectly. So, in addition to our great fighter pilots, thank you to the captain and crew. Mid sentence, he lost what he forgot what he was writing about.
He forgot how to spell his name yesterday. Did you see the tweet?
Yes, he couldn't remember how to fucking spell Donald. Oh, we are so fucked.
It's so fucked. But I want to say this, Malcolm. I know, as fucked as we are, and as bad as it seems as it is, there is light at the end of the tunnel, guys. The cracks, the fractures. I mean, if you take a look, what's happening with Thomas Massey, take a look at the loyalists. With, I mean, Marjorie Green is coming out attacking Trump. Matt Gaetz is attacking Steve Bannon. You got Tucker Carlson, Elon. Let's listen to the names. I mean, this is real stuff. There is, and you now is the time to push more than ever. And right now is the time that if we need to get our leadership on the other side intact. We need somebody to come out and be strong and start taking, because right now is the time. Right now, with everything, if we do not take charge now and make our voices heard and go out there and take our democracy, I'm telling you, folks, every day is going to get worse and worse, and he's going to get more stronger and stronger because it's playing out in front of our eyes, Malcolm. So there is the cracks. I mean, we have the opportunity. There is, but the one thing is, like, I don't see anybody out there on the Democratic side in the leadership. I don't know out there that is grabbing the bull by the horns and is saying, like, well, I don't see nobody standing up next to Thomas Massey and saying, hey, holding his hands and doing a joint press conference and saying, hey, we need more Thomas Massey. You see, you're saying
Right.
it's unconstitutional. Let's join. Let's get there.
Right.
You know, none of that is happening. You see Trump attacking Massey, calling him on mega now. Now you got all of the mega going after him, and nothing from the Democrat side even supporting him. I mean, not in the media. Like, you'll have a blurb. I mean, it's crazy. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
All right. Well, you guys are as caught up as we are. That's just the way it is. And now I think that we've gone over an hour. You know everything we know. We've gotten Lev's breaking news. We know the internals of it. People keep asking where the radioactive fallout is. It wasn't an atomic bomb. It was self-contained. They destroyed a mountain, and we can see the debris that blew out of the mountain. But it's what fell in. There wouldn't be any real radioactive leaks, except maybe at the containment doors or something. We'll see what the International Atomic Energy Committee says. What is this with Katie Tur, Leon Panetta, and yours? You should be on there too. I was just on Joy Reid's podcast. I just had Joy Reid on the Black Man Spy podcast, and we talked about internal politics. And I said, Lev, it's when I saw your text come up. And I was like, something's going on, right? And lots of my Israel real-time texts were coming, and I go, something's going on. So we did the podcast and came right on here. So now you guys are as boned up as we are on this. If you ever see me have an alert live, jump on it, because that means I'm about to give you exactly what's happened. Lev, I know you want to go back to Mario's
Actually,
Mario's space so that you can fight with Jackson Hinkle and
come join me there. I need your help. I need you by my side.
yeah.
You know, you know how these guys are. But guys, for you all there, well, if this is actually moving and flowing right
Yes.
now, so if something does break or something happens, we will come on live with Malcolm. So keep your alerts on.
Yes.
if there won't be anything crazy breaking as far as breaking it down and what our sources are telling you. Both Malcolm has some Substack coming out later today. I'm
Yep.
putting together some stuff. I'm going to put together. Make sure stay tuned and watch out for the Substack letter where I'm going to have Putin's video in there. It's being translated now. I'm going to get that to you guys also. And then number one thing we ask each and every one of you is subscribe, support, spread the message. You are our voices. You are our extension. And let's keep it real.
Okay. All right. Listen, subscribe. If you're not a subscriber to Black Man Spy, then you've come from Lev's Substack, where I'm a subscriber. Go hit the button, free subscribe to Black Man Spy. If you want to get as part of the commentary crew or any of the special events we do, then become a paid subscriber. But right now, just free subscribe. I'm at 85,000. I'm trying to reach 100,000.
Let's go, folks. Let's do it.
Followers on Substack. But you be prepared. I'm going to be doing more lives, and I do have a Substack out called Well, We're at War. Happy now? So, but we are just starting this story. All of our lives are going to change because of this, right?
Yep.
Somebody says, can't wait for Pete Hegseth's presser. Yeah, let's see if he's sober. I'm always there to see if he's sober.
They're actually right now getting ready, and they're sitting there playing what's it called, Uno. They're playing Uno or Monopoly before they come out, because this was all pre-planned, all staged, guys.
Crazy.
It's gonna be interesting to see how it comes out.
All right, we'll see you later on our next one. Take care. Thanks for coming, everybody, and be sure to subscribe to Lev and my podcast and get the breaking news. Bye.